Did you know you could double your Android phone's battery life just by changing some settings that are turned on by default that allow apps that you're not actually using to drain your battery? Keep in mind, all of these are turned on by default. I'll walk you through how to turn them off so they're not draining that battery. But first, hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. Thanks, guys. Now, the first thing we're going to do is open up the Settings app. So swipe up on your phone and navigate to that Settings app right there. The first thing we'll check to see if it's scanning for other devices. So let's scroll down until you find the option that says Google and tap on that. And now from here, we're going to scroll down and choose the option that says Devices. Now, keep in mind, if this is turned on, it says scan for nearby devices, and you can see it is constantly scanning to see if there are devices to connect to. Keep in mind, you can always just swipe down and connect to a device manually through your Bluetooth, but you don't need to constantly scan for new devices nearby. This drains your battery life and will significantly reduce the performance. So I would highly recommend turning that off. However, that's not the only thing your phone scans for. Let's go back to the very beginning of the Settings app. Again, from here, we're going to tap on Connections at the very top. And then let's scroll down until we get to More Connections at the very bottom. There are two things that your phone will also scan for. You can see nearby device scanning. It says your phone will scan for nearby devices that let you connect to them and pop up on the notification panel. Again, if there aren't devices that you want to connect to, and you can always manually connect to these, I would highly recommend not just scanning for devices constantly in the background. Now, keep in mind, if we go back one and tap on Printing, your phone also does this for printers. It constantly looks for new printers on your network. So on here, you can see it is turned on and it just constantly scans. So I would highly recommend turning that off. And keep in mind, you don't necessarily need to constantly search for printers. If you've already added a printer to your phone, it will automatically pop up. And if you need to access and find a printer, you can always turn that on. Now, let's go back to the very beginning from here. Once you're at the beginning of the settings, we're going to check another thing that constantly just kind of measures all of the usage and data on your phone. Let's scroll down until we get to digital well-being and parental controls. Now you can see here it says, all right, 38 minutes on my settings and phone and messages, how many times I've used and opened up social media, etc. Keep in mind, a lot of times people don't use this information, but in the background, it's using processor speed and your battery to constantly track and measure and basically record all of this. We can always turn it off by tapping on those three dots at the top right, tapping on Settings. And now from here, let's scroll down and tap on Usage Data Access. And from here, we will tap on Settings. Now, all you need to do under Allow Permissions is toggle this off if you don't want it to constantly measure how you use your phone and record it on your phone. Next, let's go back to the very beginning of your settings and let's make sure notifications are not draining your battery life without needing it. So scroll down, tap on Notifications, and then tap on App Notifications. You'll be able to see all of the apps that can send you notifications. Some of them are legitimately helpful, but some of them I don't necessarily care for. For instance, Android System Intelligence, I don't necessarily need that, or my gallery, or Google Play services. So any of these items that you don't need notifications for, just toggle those off, and you can leave on ones like messages and your phone, stuff like that, that are legitimately helpful. Let's now go back to the very beginning because your phone could potentially be sharing your location constantly, draining your battery life. So from the very beginning of your settings, let's scroll down until you find location on this list. And now you can see maps, for instance, it says allow all the time. So this is constantly tracking my location using Google Maps. I'm going to switch this to allow while using the app instead. Now, if you've shared your location with somebody, this will prevent them from accessing your location if you don't have that Maps app open. But you can also go back out of here and you can go to App Permissions And you can see, for instance, allowed all the time Android system intelligence. Now, I don't necessarily need this to allow to basically be able to track me all the time. So I'm going to hit switch it to only allow while using the app or ask every time. Again, if you go through here and there are any apps that are set to allowed all the time, they'll constantly check your location and drain your battery life significantly. Now, the last thing we can do is there are some built-in settings on your phone that help with battery life and management. So go back to the very beginning of your settings, and from here, scroll down to battery. And now from here, we're going to tap on battery usage limits. I would highly recommend turning on put unused apps to sleep. Essentially, if you're not using an app and it's running in the background, it kind of puts it to sleep so it doesn't drain your battery. But also, let's go back out of here and tap on battery protection. I would highly recommend turning this on. You can see basic says when your battery is charged to 100%, charging will stop, let it drop down to 95%, and then charge again. This basically just helps prolong the life of your battery. But you can also set it to maximum here, which is even better. What this does is it limits your Android phone to only charging to 90%. Keep in mind that last 10% or so of your battery power capacity significantly degrades your battery life over time. So if you have it set to charging to 100% every single night, that will degrade the battery life a lot quicker than if you have it set to basically charging to 90 or 85%. I usually keep it right around 90%. By going through all of these steps, your battery life will immediately double and be significantly better. You won't have to charge midday. I hope this helps. If it did, hit the like button down below and leave a comment if you still have any questions.